Worlds 2025 lámou rekordy, chat. Takže mi řekni, že to nebude stát za to.
It's World Season, baby, and we've had some heater games to start the tournament off. This video is going to be a recap of everything that's happened so far worth knowing about, so you can keep up to date or relive the best the tournament has had to offer. With that said, there are obvious spoilers of every game up until this point, so...
Já nesnáším kulturu, ve které lidi nazývají všechno spoilerama. O čem kurva mluvíš, že tam budou spoilery na to, co se stalo? Mi chci říct, že tady je fakt někdo, kdo by se rozplakal, kdyby zjistil, že vyhráli 30 zápasů 2 týdny zpátky nějaký tým nad nějakým jiným týmem, když už prostě každý, kdo to sleduje, tak ví, jaká je teďka tabulka, kdo vypadává tak. To jsou části té kultury, že prostě sleduješ něčí cestu, jak se drží a tak všichni.
You've been warned. Click off if you haven't watched them yet. We began with LCK's 4th seed and reigning world champs T1 taking on ex-world champions and Chinese 4th seed Invictus Gaming. That's right, two of the most known names in LoL esports, Faker and The Shy, going head-to-head in a loser goes home series on the first day. And as reflected by the numbers, it did not disappoint. According to esports charts, the play-in series set a new record for highest opening day viewership in world history, with 2.5 million viewers, which is a near...
Kámo, ale to udělali rauťáci nějak na schvál. Oni měli vyloženě banger, tohle jsou ještě ex-Worlds to, Championships, jakože borci, co to vyhráli, to oboje Worlds, tak začínali tyhle ty Worlds tím, že si dávali duel o to, kdo vůbec může hrát. To podle mě udělali nějak na schvál. To ti rauťáci nemohli udělat omylem.
Nearly staggering 80% higher than 2024 start, and that's all excluding China. And the players gave them something to watch with some pretty close games. It even had Faker warming up his whole body before the game.
Raz, what are you looking at?
Ne.
You've already gotten one. You flip-flop once.
Ano, trénink je důležitý.
What did you predict? You predicted T1.
But the things I wanted to focus on, and that probably gained the most attention, was a few of the Shy's individual plays. In Game 1, IG had just secured Infernal Soul and had the space to threaten Baron. In this kind of situation, you really don't need to do anything because you have access to more of the map and you can just shove waves and vacuum resources, especially when you have the threat of Dragon Soul damage on your side. On paper, a very comfy spot for IG, until their top laner did this.
See whether they do decide to pull the trigger as the teleport is coming in from the Shy.
Vlastně
to get into position, but the Shy is going to be spotted immediately. Good spell shield as the supreme display of talent doesn't find the angle, and then protect the president comes on through from T1. Void Rush not going to be enough, and it's Gumayushi that gets the better of the Rek'Sai.
And this wasn't the only poor performance from IG's top side. On Hoopu,
na jeho obranu nebylo tohle to, co Xnappy komentoval, že to byl týmový call, pravděpodobně, že za to Shy nemohl. Že to vidíš, že on jako tam nešel sám, že s ním tam šla i taky Jana. Oni to očividně tak chtěli hrát, i když, jak tady říká rival, tak byli v komfortním spotu a nemuseli. Prostě si chtěli zahrát, no. Já to nepochopila, co udělal. No prostě tam naportil, aby chytali pravděpodobně AD carry. Vůbec nemuseli, situace si nežádala, aby něco jak kdyby hledali na mapě. A zkusili to a nevyšlo to. A na základě toho se otevřela mapa.
I said that right, which is a Chinese sports media and data platform. Ratings are given to players from the community with some pretty hilarious comments attached. For Game 1, the Shy got a 2.6 out of 10.
Yes,
and attached was the comment, "You're really him. 90% chance to win, and you entered it away." And in Game 3, which IG also lost, the Shy's Rumble got a 2.7, with a clean just report him, coupled with Waze Vi copping a 2.3, and the comment, "Top jungle are such good bros, each of them throwing a game." But the harshest comment in that game was actually on Rookies, who scored a 9.6 on his way. Quote, "You really tried your best. Too bad your jungler was born." That's pretty...
Too bad your Takže prostě hejtijou. Jinak jsem si uvědomit jednu věc ohledně Worlds, a to, že často to není chyba toho individuálního hráče, pokud nejste Doran. Vždycky je to Doranová chyba, ale všichni ostatní tam dělají jako chyby na základě týmových playů, že jo? Tyhle videa většinou dělají random, co tomu nerozumí, ne? Snad bych věřil víc než tomuto. A jo, jak on bere, jaký je to, jaký je postavení komunity jako takový. To prostě je jasný, že tohleto Shy schytá, i když to pravděpodobně třeba plánovali.
Pretty brutal. And then for Game 4, where the Shy locked top Varus, his first ever competitive time playing the champ, and received a generous 2.8. Quote, "Without you, T1 would have had a really hard time winning. LPL should market you as the biggest enemy, the Shy." So this was the playoffs, a best of 5 that T1 of course took 3-1. But then we enter Swiss stage, which are best of 1s, and as we know in League, it can be really hard to come back from just one bad mistake, which I think lends as much good as it does bad to the Swiss stage, and it definitely leads to some upsets as we're going to see later in this video. But one thing that watching Worlds always does is makes me want to start taking climbing seriously again, and if you're like me, you'll be looking for any advantage you can get. So let's take a quick break so I can show you one. Now if you're
Kamaráde, motivuje vás nějak Worlds? To jsem zažil tak jako třeba 2 roky, dvoje Worlds, kdy mě motivovalo hrát solo queue, jinak je to spíš ten streamer s Clash, no. A já nevím, je Swiss stage je asi dobrá, ne? On myslím někdo říkal, že statisticky, pokud máš, jak to bylo, když máš 8 týmů opic a 8 týmů profíků, tak přes Swiss stage se dostane 7 týmů profíků a 1 tým opic. Že tak kdyby matematicky vychází. Like that's good.
Australian, like me, or even from the huge country of North America, you're no stranger to bad ping and internet issues because we're like a million Ks from the nearest server. Now, if that sounds like you, I might have something that can help. This thank you later. Now, the first round of the Swiss stage saw Vietnamese team Secret Wales, the second seed of the LCP, take on VKS, second in the LTA. After a slower start with gold basically all tied up, a 15-minute grub fight gave TSW a lead to start building on. But where's the VKS mid going? Even the official LPL account had some fun with this play, mentioning Sixpack, the infamous TP outplayer. Now, if you've never heard of Sixpack, he's the master of mind control. These are the clips he posts, and they're hilarious.
Jo, to jsou ty TikTok montáže.
He still needs to hit the eye. It's there in front and he's taken it. Vault breaker in, looking for the engage. Eddie repositions to the back of the fight and Disarmus is down first. Trimby went in, but just to die. While the Renekton was juicy meat, but you can't throw it out today. Instead, try and eat Eddie, who flashes away. Set up from Boal.
Nice.
The true damage, waiting for that to come in because Kasante, no! He goes up, Boal went up and Eddie went south. Miru sets up, a flash away from Darius, history re-engages. Juicy meat, but you can't eat crocodile today. Instead, try and eat Eddie, who flashes. The word is calling you, can you hear them screaming?
Following this, TSW continued to expand their lead until an eventual 15k gold gap with Elder Dragon Siege closing out the game.
Then it's a Nexus defense against an Elder Dragon.
Flash in from Taki, set up with the Magnus Storm. Miro goes golden though. He's a little bit deeper now, the turret's gone. They've got nothing to lean back on. Between Worlds sets them up nicely as well, and the re-engage. Finally getting it done. We waited for 10 minutes for the LCP to smack
jako co si budem. Tady si holky hrajou. Ono se jak kdyby nehrozí, že by ani jeden z těch týmů postoupil, ne? TSV teďka hrajou o vypadení s MKOI. That's it. A VKS s kým do prčic? Já se musím podívat normálně. Loli Sports, tabulka. Worlds. VKS ještě nevypadly, ne? Ti hrajou s byli o vypadení. Tím pádem by museli, oba dva tyhle týmy by museli vyhrát ještě 2 zápasy proti zvířatům. Takže proti nějakým dobrým hráčům. Nebo třeba proti FlyQuest, jo? Pokud FlyQuest teda vypadnou proti GPU. Ale nevím, tohle je prostě nějaká zábava.
Next up, Seed 1 from Taiwan, Flying Oyster took on LEC's third seed Fnatic.
Yes.
And swiftly handed Europe their first loss of the tournament. And I have to say, in a pretty dominating fashion, but there still was some really entertaining plays, like this one.
Fnatic have control here, and the interrupt on the reset has to flash away. But that's going to be the pressure on top side and the Void Grubs.
Wait, Toxic Shot comes already, flash away, max range! He stares Ginger in the face and says, now what, bro?
Following this, the lead just kept growing, with CFO taking Atakan, Sol, and Baron in a relatively unscathed fashion before closing the game out with a siege at the 31st minute.
For Ross, there's a Realm Warp, taking 1 minion into the base, is going to enable an engage. Ace in the hole here, upset, Pop Blossom hits
Kámo, ta Niko je busted, já to nemůžu.
Poby about to drop the greatest of some time, ain't today. It's Honkyu as he runs in with the rest of his team with CFO looking to finish this one here.
They didn't even bring Driver along for that. He ended up bolting out of it. He didn't want to come along for the rides, but it's a victory lap. It feels like for CFO.
Not just for CFO, Dagda, it's a victory lap for the
A kamarády, bych mohl určit, jaký tým vyhraje, tak bych chtěl, aby to bylo CFO. Ti mají zatím nejlepší story, ne? A Dogo se mi zdá, že je strašně dobrý.
One loss on the board already for Europe, why not make it two? LEC's second star, Movistar Koi take on LCK's third, KT Rollstar. And despite a strong start from Koi with Super picking up a few kills and a sizable CS lead on his Yunara, it wasn't enough, and the team fighting of the Koreans managed to turn it around, starting with this beautiful team fight in the midst of Atakan. Oh yeah, but they left one alive though.
Done so, he'll deny the minions and now move down. At 13k, it's slow.
A to je hezký, že máš takovýhle recap video, to nebudu sledovat ani Words. Se raději komu na tohle během 20 minut.
When all it takes is a set up with the path maker. Meanwhile, Cuz has been left by his team. The jump in there, Jojo's going to follow as well. Shockwave is big though. 3-man with a hot bot inside. MKoi ran in, it was a bait, it was a ruse, and Cuz drew them in. Flash from Docdam, ace in the hole. He sets it up now, and Super's in the ground. A steal looks hard.
Anyway,
looking to
nerf
go
Kosante.
in. 15. Almost 14
O počkej.
They're in Cataclysm still! The king of the jungle from Madrid, baby! That's him!
Despite Elyoyo's heroics, KT Rollstar continued to control the rift with a shutdown gold, take Baron, and close the game out through this mid lane team fight. Europe is now 0-2.
Dojo in behind them though. MKoi gonna look for the flank and see if they can all in on this, it looks like.
It would be a miracle. Meerwin needs a flip, they need the right target. The engage from Cuz, the all-in. Elyoyo finds backline. Under Docdam, they're there, but where's the damage at? It's all up to Super, who's getting burnt asunder with one kill already going down. Elyoyo sacrifices his life. Peter jumps in. Super re-engages with the wild growth, but it ain't enough. KT, we got excited for a reason.
Já když se koukám na tyhle ty teamfighty, mně je úplně jasný, že Route Games to nepřiznají. Ale oni prostě na ty Worlds vypínají 30% damage. Já fakt nechápu, jak ty fighty můžou trvat tak dlouho, jak to, že prostě někdo dostane smazáno. Prostě koukni se, tady má Jarvan, jenom Black River a Sunderer Sky a všichni žijou strašně dlouho. Já co hraju solo, to je úplně něco jiného do prdele.
Moving on, we've got what might just be the biggest shock of the entire tournament so far. LTA's third seed, 100 Thieves, facing off against China's first seed, BLG.
No,
and this is the matchup that had everyone talking.
BLG
if you put your money on 100 Thieves, the payout would have been huge. Their odds were sitting close to $8 to win. And to make things even rougher for them, it was reported that their jungler River had landed less than 24 hours before the game, dealing with both fatigue and jet lag. Now, just before we jump in to see what really went wrong, a sub lets me know you're enjoying these type of Worlds videos and to keep doing them throughout the tournament. But enough of that, alright, let's get into what went down. It was actually pretty close up until the third dragon at 23 minutes, where BLG had only a 2.5k gold lead. But NA just showed up in a fight that mattered, leading to a stolen Drake and Atakan.
On vision for the time being, that ward in front of Dragon paying dividends. There's ace in the hole onto Ayla. That's their engage. Maybe gives BLG a chance. There's still a potential at 3k. The Dragon in front of Bage 1, not stolen. And he'll die with it as well.
Jo, a tak
Cataclysm has been separated from the team.
Když se na to koukneš zpětně, jak je to jasný, protože máš Jarvana do Zina. To není fair.
Been survived for a long time, there just ain't enough. He bought all the time in the world out with the tunnel for now, but there's Quid with the range, BLG running away. Elk can't do too much with the Crescent Guard in the way, and on is just a dead spider body. 100 Thieves for 3, BLG with 2. I see the play, I see the faith.
Nice.
I see an A! A triple turns into an ace.
But maybe BLG can turn it with Baron on the map. To that game plan, Quid says no.
Incredible work in this game.
They brought this game back. They're a dragon ahead. They found the fight.
Ale
do not get caught.
Kamo, chápeš, jaký je tam diametrální rozdíl mezi Aziatama a všema ostatníma regionama, když prostě prohrávají o víc jak dvojnásobek killů a ten lead je prostě tisícovka. To je hruza.
Shattering strike. And he crashes down away. Elk. Bomb away. Quid the same. Quid the same. The assassination. Meanwhile, FBI firing away. Baytron went in too deep. On's caught out as well.
No nic.
Does NA believe?
With that, BLG just never really recovered, and a clean engage from Quid started the closeout. That's all she wrote.
Answer for them here is Elk. Spotted Quid.
Yeah, he is. Quid pops between worlds, bursts in. One shot, Ayla contributes. The burn, the auto is enough. Bit of an overcommit from 100 Thieves, but who
Takže to
cares?
Quid
It's
solo
not far
potahal
ahead.
prostě.
There's a cocoon, but On is also
9-0-6
caught out. He repels
za
up, he's
Auroru.
looking for a target to get away. Bait1 has to commit, but with that, he's sealing his own death warrant as well. The first LPL team is getting bodied by a couple of risky Thieves. There's a shutdown there, but meanwhile Knight has to flash away from Dokla, who's under a turret, who's destroying the best mid laner of the East right now. Flash away, no. Dokla just soloed Knight.
With BLG taking this loss,
Wow.
the Chinese were not happy, with Doenby completely crashing out on his stream.
你输给100T是人家3号种子了，兄弟。我们 LPL 1号种子输给他们3号种子了。
To je nejlepší ty reakce těch čínských fanoušků.
兄弟搞得真恶心人，这。
Next up, NA's #1 hope, FlyQuest take on T1. But with this game may have just proved that 100 Thieves' game was just a fluke. Despite T1 coming in from 4th seed, they just somehow spawn in with Worlds buff, and no opponent is seemingly insurmountable.
No to
Starting
nevím,
off with a
zatím to
trickle of
nevypadá, že
gold,
by
the
T1
map
měli
really
Worlds buff.
started to split following this fight.
Vyhráli
It
jeden
kind of
zápas.
just happened for no reason.
Now it's resulted in all
Jak oni
three
hráli
teams out
proti
of towers
Genji a
down
CFO,
flowers, so
no.
there's not a lot of room to work with for FlyQuest. The map is quickly going under T1 control.
All right, T1 trying to force their way further into the enemy jungle, but the Realm Warp into the immediate Pop Blossom. It finds Owner, but nobody else. Now Gumayushi under a little bit of pressure here on the side. Inspired goes into the Cataclysm, but Lucio's first to die. Owner still trying to get away. Flashes into the rush to buy a little bit more time, but Acathian Rain gets him. T1 still got more men. Quad in the middle of everybody, and he's cut down by the blades of Gumayushi. Whippos in the death realm for a little bit longer. He'll take out Keria, but what about afterwards? There's no way to survive a triple kill for Guma.
With that, Fly never
Tu hru
really
jsem
recovered,
viděl a já mám
and in
pocit,
the
že tam
last ditch
reálně vypadá dobře jenom Vipo z těch Flygest. Což je zvláštně s tím, že vypadejka každý hejtí. Tak dobrý, no. Ukáž FlyQuest. Tyhle FlyQuest jsou ti, co mají vlastně úplně easy turnaj. Oni vyloženě prohráli proti T1, pak šli proti VKS a pak šli proti Wales. To měli to teďka úplně zdarma. Jestli porazil Evropu, tak se máme za co stydět, ale prakticky měli free draft.
to prevent a T1
To jsou ty
Baron,
opice, co se dostanou dál přes Stage.
Good trade-off.
One is ready to start it up. Dorman and Carrier are going to be running interference, and Owner and Gumayushi just melt this thing. Weaver's Wall won't allow FlyQuest anywhere near it, and T1 has already claimed the objective. Now Whippo's got to try to stay alive. Pop Blossom finds Faker. Gumayushi's already killed Buzio. Masu flew into the back line.
Chudák Bippo tam dělá tolik práce.
And T1 tears them apart. FlyQuest thought they could take that fight. They thought they had to, but T1 would not let it happen.
Now moving on to a top of the table matchup between LCK2, Harm Wildlife, and LPL2, Anyone's Legend. In the power rankings, both of these teams are in the top 5, and with that, we already know we are probably up
Anyone
for the
Legends
highest
jsou
quality
skaty
league we've seen so
kvalifikovaní,
far,
tuším, že?
and we got what we wished for in this 41-minute banger. At 21 minutes, Hanwha lead by a modest 3k, but with a sight set on the volatile Atakan, this fight can definitely go either way.
But HLE are now going to start up that objective. Wards being placed nearby from Anyone's Legend. They want to try to stop this. The Otacon's already down to about half HP, but so is Peanut. Teleport's coming in now from both sides. Zeus looking to go in, create a little bit of space, put pressure onto the back line. He's found his way onto Hope. Pop Blossom coming in, but it's not going to get a whole lot done. Zeus still finding the damage, and Viper's going godlike here into the back line. Kaela's low, Flandra's down. As they
Kámo, ten
release,
Zeus
gonna kill
furt žije.
back on the Anyone's Legend side. It's Viper down alongside his mid laner as Tarzan fights back, misses the spear. It's flashed away by Zeus. Shanks comes around from the side. Anyone's Legend with the huge team fight win and a 5-for-2.
And with
Další věc, co nechápu, je, že Worldspix třeba Ksante je nejpikovanější top laner a má win rate na Worlds teďka 16%, vyhrál 2 z 12 her. Ale v každém tom fightu, který vidíme o ty objektivy, ten Ksante začne fight a vydrží nejdýl. Já fakt mi to přijde furt extrémně busted ten champ, ale nemám tušení, jak se kurva děje, že tak prohrává.
long back and forth the entire game, it all comes down to an Elder fight with a Hextech Soul over to Anyone's Legend. But is it enough to close out the longest game of the tournament so far? I think it is anyway.
Anyone's Legend
Just go for the fight. Anyone's legend, just go for the fight.
And there they go. They're diving in. Delight's going to be the first target, and he already lost 80% of his HP. Unbreakable will not live up to the name. Shanks put the slows in on Peanut, and the rest of the team is ready to follow. Miasma keeps him close enough, and he cannot use his cataclysm to buy any time. Now into the petrifying gaze onto Zeka. Anyone's legend just cleaned up 3 more. Zeus has respawned, but now it's only 2 players alive on HLE. They're trying to make a catch onto Shanks as he teleports in. They find some good burst, but he's still got the stasis. Kael goes on a rampage. Anyone's legend looking to push down mid and win the game.
They're gonna do it, Flowers. Should be easy. Tarzan's looking for 1 more kill onto Viper, but it's actually going to Hope.
Next up, let's see.
BB jako sam ten vál třeba. BB je jeden z těch 2 lidí, co na něm actually vyhráli hru. Druhý je Doran. Nevím, proč BB tady nemá napsaný KD, ale nemá.
If Europe can go 0 for 3, shall we, as LEC's first G2 take on China's 3rd top esports. Now, as we've seen a few times this tournament, top only lead by a 3,000 gold lead at the 20th minute, but forcing a volatile fight for Atakan have led to a lot of map-splitting game states. Let's see if this one is any different.
This is an audacious Atakan start, but it's what top esports are going for. They're 3,000 gold ahead. G2's got all 5 men nearby. Atakan down to about half HP. Kanavi and Jackie Love still putting the work in onto it. 369 trying to keep everybody else distracted. Caps goes in. Flashback out from 369. The Atakan down to 3,000 HP. The Aatrox keeping everybody distracted now. But he's got to be careful because he's in World Ender, but he's got no flash. Everybody from G2 piling in on 369. The Aatrox won't die fast enough.
Prostě Aatrox pořád žije, prostě Aatrox pořád žije, prostě Aatrox pořád.
Everybody on G2 is eviscerated. 369 with 1 last Deathbringer stance.
No jo, no.
Life at a broken blade and stays alive himself. Jackie Love chases forward with the auto attacks. It's an ace.
Krásný doplnění.
And it kind of only gets worse for G2, eventuating in a 10k gold deficit with triple inhibs down. How can play?
Considering their reputation at the past few international events, considering the expectation that a lot of people would have of them potentially having a throw here, there has been no such thing. TES now on the verge of winning their first game here at Worlds 2025. Caps wanted to go after Jackie again. Didn't quite get him this time, and that should mean the end of the game. Nexus turrets both about to die. 369 under a little bit of pressure. Here's the Brav Charms up. Hong, they get that kill at least. Humon's gonna drop dead next though.
Ale myslím, že jako prakticky dostáváš celý ty videohry, akorát je skipnutý o to, kde jenom farmili.
Are not gonna let them leave. It's top esports coming out swinging 22-7. They'll take down G2.
And our last game of this video takes us to the highly anticipated power ranking LCK #1 and world's favorite Gen G versus LCP's 3rd PSG talent. Now the game was actually surprisingly close up until the 20th minute. Only a 3,000 gold lead to Gen G and 8 total kills. Until Gen G did what Gen G do, and at Atakan no less.
Your 20-minute Atakan that you're looking for.
Každá hra rozhodnutá na Atakanovi klasicky. Bohužel.
I called it. All right, TP's coming back in from Keen. He just needs to go back, heal up, purchase real quick. Gen G, they've got the objective down to about 2/3, and PSG is on the approach. Charging up the Galio taunt. Maple now in the middle of everybody, but he's going to get focused here. Has to back off a little bit. Atakan down to half, but that's nowhere near close enough to try to burst it down.
Já jsem nerozumím, co tady děje.
PSG now.
Tam Chovy teďka tam chtěl za Galia Cash.
Without the Swain ulti, they are at a significant disadvantage. Atakan pulled to the back side of the pit, has 2,400 health remaining. Looking to burst that one down as Keen's going to distract everybody with the Grand Heroes entrance coming right in over the top from Chovy. Duro's trying to
A to tam jedou, 3v5.
Aja takes out Keen and Duro both
bez
for a
AD
double
carry a bez
kill,
junglera.
but the Atakan
Wow.
goes over to the side of Gen G. Betty and Maple trying to get themselves away from this one. Ruler grabbing the kill on Aja. Canyon jumps in, goes after Betty here. Chovy's in a killing spree. Betty tries to get away, but it's an ace for Gen G.
Following that, I feel like playing against Gen G from a deficit would feel suffocating, and that's kind of how it...
Tam chtěli vybejtit ten TP ult od Swaina. Jak mu skončila ultimátka, šli. Yes, tak tam jde hlavně o to, že já jsem se ani neuvědomil, že jsem ještě neviděl kombo Ambessa Galio. A to je strašně bastě, tady ten fight to prostě viděl, že oni to tam dali 3v5 a to ještě ten třetí hráč byl vyloženě fucking support. To je nechutárna. Ale že oni bejtili co dobu Svinerko, to zmizelo, ok, chápu.
Looked following the Atakan take. At the 26th minute, with Baron almost up for grabs, Genji make a united push mid to secure topside jungle agency, but they end up getting a lot more and dismantle Talon piece by piece.
Right in over the wall, finds Keen and does not want anything to do with the rest of that
A tak
fight.
Talon teďka
As Canyon
celkově
wraps around the
underperformuje,
back
ne?
of the jungle here. And Woody and Maple are going to have to be
Okay,
a little bit
zbytečný
careful.
tým.
Duro raises the shield, and Canyon has already found the flank. There's the Cyclone into the Galio knockup we were talking about back in draft. Rulers on a rampage. Maple is gone. PSG scrambling. Cars is the next target. Nobody else dies unless Keen has something to say about it. He'll pick off Aja, and now Betty's got to try to escape. The Ambessa leads the charge, and Jovi's coming up right behind them. Betty and Woody on full retreat now, as immediately the follow-up is there from Genji.
Now, following all this, I think there's games currently being played, like right now. So now that you're up to date, click off here and go watch K-Drill for more Worlds action. I plan on doing these kind of roundups throughout the tournament and maybe even those full game
Počkej,
summaries
vynechal
that you
něco,
guys have loved in the
nevynechal ty
past.
poslední
So if
zápasy.
you enjoy this format, let me know in the comments below and I'll see you in another video.
On vynechal ty
very,
poslední
very
zápasy, tohle je do těch dvou, jo. LPL editor. LPL má, myslím, toho editora, který totálně spamuje TikTok těma nejvíc brainrot mýmama. A je to funny, no. Thank you The Spy for great series. Klasika. No dobrý, škoda, že to není jak kdyby extrémně aktuální, ale ono mě to vyhovuje, protože to jsou legit zápasy, které jsem misoval, nebo jsem je nevnímal. To je strašně dobrý koncept, mě by zajímalo nedělak snad něco podobného třeba. To by se mohl nechat inspirovat, ne? Aspoň na další Worlds. Nope. Nic takového. Jen tady má to video, všechno, co potřebuješ vědět o Worlds. Počkej, a Worlds začal 6 dní zpátky, nebo jsem delusional? Nemá třeba trvat celý měsíc. Worlds finále je 9. Takže za více jak 2 týdny. Good one.